on the floor. I put a bullet in his head. There was no hesitation, but you made it easy when you strapped his body to a chair. So say goodbye to everything you ever knew before, and I'd understand if you went running out the door. And I'll keep you safe, and no harm will ever come to you, I swear. And I'll kill if they even dare. I'll kill, I swear. Murder party.
Hi, Boot.
Hi, Your Highness.
I'm high.
I think you are, just a little bit.
You should not talk.
Oh, I ate a gummy.
And
I feel fine.
you ate some chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
And
Why do you keep
feel
buying me these
fine.
things? It's like, here, eat this gummy.
It's great. Murder party. Thanks, murder party. I shot and killed a man today. Didn't feel good about it, but what's done is done. Boot, do you have a warning? For Christ's sakes, give the warning.
So if you see your child eating, I know you're
didn't write
numbing
this.
away on some gummy.
Numbing. Num, and some gummies.
Then about 30 minutes later, that kid has sunken into the couch, and it has this shit-eating grin on his face that just will not go away. Or it may be your spouse. You know, your spouse may do the same thing. Either
5
way,
milligrams is the easiest giggle I've ever gotten from this guy.
Let them do that. And
don't let them listen to us.
Not let them listen to us.
And Your Highness,
For
a.k.a. me, I have no influence on them chewing gummies, because you're the one that lets them listen to us. So don't let those little shits listen to us. We don't want anything to do it. We don't have weed insurance.
Would you like to hear right away who the band is?
No.
Oh,
nope.
Okay.
That's for the ending.
Yeah.
You know, the ending. When we leave you on a good note with a happy ending.
Band. I cannot wait to feature
I'm
these
super
guys.
excited.
It's
really
stuff.
good. We have a few thugs I'd like to give a shout out to. One has been with us since the beginning, and I've been a jerk of a highness and not said anything. Your ice cannot clink as loud as my ice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Bitch.
I was just trying to be subtle about it. Who are these people?
Thugs. Little sis Joanna D has been listening to us. She would prefer us to do a video, but
Joanna.
look, I would have to do makeup, and
I like Joanna.
I love you, Joanna. We both love her long time. The next person is Heather Music, Muzzic. Nice. She liked us on Facebook. So thanks, Heather. And thank you, Joanna, for supporting us.
Thank you, Joanna.
And letting us seep way down into your ear canals and getting into your brain. It's awesome. Where are we going this evening, Boot?
Oh, first of all, we're going to introduce Josephine Verellen, prisoner, number 27243.
27243.
Resides at the Huron Valley Complex. Jacqueline, I'm going to call her Jack.
I feel like I
are
should
going to
say
call
that
her
part,
Jack.
because I'm always the one mispronouncing
You know,
things.
I'd like to call her Jacqueline, but Jacqueline was 17.
Wait, is that a song?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't.
And this one is not 17.
She was 22.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, the Verellen family started when John Verellen was stationed in Vietnam. He met his wife, Simone, there, who was actually from Cambodia.
The three of them eventually moved to Romeo, Michigan, completed their family with 2 more children.
And by the three of them, I mean John, Simone, and their first baby.
Yeah,
Jacqueline, I think.
Things started getting weird right away. Simone was a bit neglectful of her children. She was very career-oriented and focused, said to be a little bit selfish.
Yeah, she was definitely more focused on her business than her children. Simone was said to be harsh and demanding of the 3 children. She punished them by slapping, pinching, and hitting the babies.
Just a little bit harsh.
A little much for my taste.
Not mom stuff, not really cool mom stuff.
Not
the 2 sisters, Jack and Joe, became not only...
That doesn't sound like sisters.
I know.
I'm sorry, Jacqueline and Josephine. They became bonded to each other, but they also became bonded to like items or things
because, that gave them security.
Yeah, gave them a sense of security. Those things were always there for them, and their parents weren't.
So CPS came in. They were brought into the family and began a family history of sorts.
Is CPS the same in all states?
Child Protective Services.
Right. You know how some people call it the DMV? We don't call it the DMV here.
We call it the Secretary of State.
You just said secretary.
Suck my what?
Secretary of State.
Suck my bank account dry.
Right. Josephine, Joe, developed very negative core beliefs during this time. I'm assuming because of the lack of parents in her life and the fact that she was slapped and punched and pinched left her feeling quite alone. I'm not a professional. I just watch shit on TV and listen to a lot of podcasts. Yeah. But, some people can have this happen in their childhood and turn out fine. Other people, it pushes them to the brink. You just never know. Solely
for the purpose of extra money, the Verellen family brought in 2 foster children.
Oh, my God.
It's a lot of work.
This happens
so
much.
It turns into a whole lot of mess.
You know what's not funny is a lot of times it's not done for the kid's sake.
Mm-hmm.
It's done for the paycheck. Boo.
Oh, no.
Do you have any experience with...
Oh, yeah, we had foster children in
How
our
many
family.
kids were in your house at the time?
Multiples. It was like this influx that came and left when I was a kid.
Whoa, you had numerous foster kids?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was only like a couple.
Yeah, right. No, it was
okay. I don't
bunch.
feel like you guys were doing it for the paycheck for sure, but it did come with some baggage.
I'm sure my mom really
had good intentions.
But we already had 5 kids, and Jesus,
I can't even fathom.
It was a mess.
That's all.
Having those kids there.
Anyways, besides having the children for the cash money they brought in, it was also said that the foster kids did most of the cleaning in the house.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, good.
Good.
1998.
Foster slaves.
The eldest child, Josephine. Joe?
Yeah, Joe. Yeah.
Became pregnant while still living at home. Oh.
Yeah, in February 1989, an anonymous call was made CPS.
Apparently, Simone literally pushed one of the foster children's face into his bowl because he was eating too slow.
Oh, my God. Parents get mad at you if you eat too fast. They get mad at you if you eat too slow.
Yeah, too much in your mouth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Eating with your mouth full. Parents are never satisfied. Some of them. He ended up with a cut on his forehead and lacerations on his finger from taking care of the bowl. It's a long way from his heart, but emotionally, that's just fucked up.
When CPS was at the home of Simone.
When they asked about the kid, she said he fell. Nah, I shoved his face into a bowl of food because he was eating too slow.
Yeah, kids were scared. And
all the other kids
didn't say anything about their parents. They were all freaking out.
Yeah, they'll be the next one in line if you open your trap.
So they couldn't find enough reason of proof or anything to remove the children from the home. That will change soon.
However, you remember Josephine, she was pregnant. And around the time she was 5 months pregnant, I feel like her mom hormones started kicking in. And she actually called CPS on her own parents in regards to the foster children.
Which is a good thing and kind of a douchebag thing to do. I'm not sure how to really...
It's not a douchebag thing to do
when
your parents were just making the
it was justified.
They were little slaves.
Goodness.
She knew they weren't being treated right. Cool part is this prompted CPS and the children to be able to go back to their real dad, which is super cool.
Yep.
In 1991, Josephine had her second baby.
She was outwardly loving and just loved having her children.
She volunteered at the school and was deemed Volunteer of the Year award at one point.
Wasn't even paid for her work at the school.
Nope.
That's cool. My mom worked at my school.
Yeah, but she got paid.
I know she did.
Oh. Drink.
You said bitch.
Okay. It seemed that Josephine was determined to raise her children different than she was raised. Sadly, it wasn't long after her parents deeded her their home in Romeo that she started slipping. Romeo. And then they moved to Sterling Heights. You're making all kinds of noise over there.
I didn't mean to, but I have notes here about Sterling Heights.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Share with us.
Oh, we're really close to, 8 Mile.
I mean, if you know anything about rap or Eminem or Michigan.
8 Mile is the southern boundary.
I need
Macomb
to count how
County.
many 8 miles are actually in Michigan. You remember that one trip we took?
Oh my God, we kept heading north and we had a paper map and we're like, well, here's 8 Mile.
I shit you not.
Apparently there's.
We passed at least 3 8 miles up north. So I'd like to know between Detroit and up north.
We've got an 8 Mile just right down here.
We do. See? Okay. Anyways, 8 Mile by Eminem, right?
That's the real 8 Mile.
That's the.
That's where we're talking about right now.
Okay, that's the bottom line
of real
of
8 Mile.
Macomb County, right?
Yeah,
Macomb.
According to the map, it's like the southern boundary.
All right, and that's where we're talking, folks. Their parents moved to Sterling Heights. Jacqueline was still in high school in Romeo.
Oh, dude, you gotta stop.
And she wanted to graduate from that school, so she stayed in Romeo. With Josephine and her boyfriend and their children. At the time the house was deeded to them, it was immaculate. It was beautiful. Why do you keep hitting me?
Because I lost where you are.
Oh my God. We don't have numbers this time either.
Numbers are fantastic.
Wait for it. The house is immaculate. There we are.
Oh, okay.
You take this next line. Get it.
Jack graduated in 1994. Starts working at a low-budget motel in Utica.
Did we stay at that hotel? Was that the place where we couldn't touch the floor?
No.
Okay, just checking. So
close though.
Jacqueline
we stayed at a whore hotel, hooker hotel.
Shh! Don't tell anybody.
It was
Let's
dirty.
Move on. We have a long story. Josephine is working as a classroom mom. She's working, but it's not really a paid position. Jacqueline's working in the motel. Baby daddy said, I've had enough of this mess because they just are fighting over it all the time. And the house was becoming trashy.
Really, really disgusting.
Just trashy.
And it's trashy is
an understatement.
Oh my God, it was horrible.
Okay, there's hoarders and then there's
disgusting people.
I feel like hoarders are.
They weren't hoarders. They were just
they just didn't pick up their trash.
Anything.
Unfortunately, when the baby daddy moved out, this triggered the girls into a worse depression. And personally speaking, I know that depression doesn't condone cleaning. So, already they haven't cleaned. And then
I understand.
Depression. I've been there
and
all day,
you don't
every day.
Do anything, but
it was already bad. And then they had depression and it got really bad, like worse. Josephine would lay around and just watch TV all day.
Yeah, the sisters began fighting more and more than normal sisters do.
Ugh. I don't want to talk about sisters right now, okay. Living with anyone can be tumultuous. It's
it
whether
can be.
you're married or your roommates or your sisters, or it's hard. Jacqueline was also known to have a major temper. She is a bit of a fighter.
Sounds like
scrapper.
Sounds like a bee, like a real bee.
What, like me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get a little scrappy sometimes.
You
push the wrong button, my bitch switch.
So she
right
spent some time in the Macomb City Emotional Health Center.
Around here, we like to call that Pine Rest.
Yeah, it's a kind of a mental health facility.
There have been times I wouldn't mind checking my own damn self.
Oh, I know. Wouldn't it be great if it was covered? You know, someone's got to pay for that. You know,
in 1997, just like her parents, CPS was called upon her household anonymously.
Social worker Lisa Putnam was assigned to their case.
In notes about Josephine, Lisa claimed that Josephine was extremely depressed. She cried a lot. She feels lonely and sad, and she's disappointed in herself.
Yeah, Lisa still had a lot of hope, you know, and trying, you know, shooting for this poor girl.
She was able to engage with Josephine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she got her to open up a little bit about her past, and she felt like she was making leeway in the situation. She didn't feel any danger at all. It was just trying to help these girls.
Yep. Joe opened up to her about her past, and they seemed to be making leeway in the situation, even opening up about her past. Yeah.
Huh. It's because I just said it.
Fuck me. You're a fucking ass. Oh my God.
I really have to pee.
Well, you need to press pause, shut that off, and go pee.
Do it. Lisa went above and beyond to help these sisters.
She would spend time off the clock on her own money and time and go to the sisters' homes and help teach them.
There's only one home. But she went there.
There.
Sorry, I had to give you shit.
You're a butthole. You are.
I'm sorry, you do it all the time.
She'd go help them organize and
she
clean.
bought totes and things.
Mm-hmm. Buying totes that they needed to help clean and organize the house. Obviously, working with and for them.
Not against them.
You need to shut up now.
Thank you, Platinum Vape.
Josephine
talked the talk, telling Lisa she would continue to clean up and do the best for her kids, that she would start a massive cleanup as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. She was going to get that motherfucking house clean.
Yeah. That's a very lofty goal.
She wasn't going to sit here and smoke weed and giggle.
It. You know,
do a podcast.
You know, and then she kind of found out that all of her efforts were
for naught.
Mm-hmm.
When Lisa came back for her next visit, at first it appeared like they had started to clean up, kinda, except for they just moved it to the front porch.
Yeah.
Some of it.
Boxes and bags of trash on the front porch.
Clothing.
You know, I don't get this.
Okay, we have put boxes on the front of our porch for a minute for goodwill, but...
Because it's 3 degrees outside.
Sometimes we just throw it out there so we don't see it while we're cleaning, but it's taken care of on the next trip. We go out to a car, you snag the box and go with you. Mm-hmm. Anyways, nobody was home this time that Lisa came back for her CPS thing. And this was in June of 1997. She kind of looked through the windows of the house and she could still see that the state of the home had not improved at all.
Still a shit pile, literally littered with trash, fast food containers, ketchup. What's with the ketchup everywhere?
I feel like they really loved ketchup with their fast food because ketchup is mentioned 1 or 2 times. I mean, maybe 2 times.
I like ketchup too, once in a while.
I was kind of comparing this to hoarders, but it's not. Hoarders usually hoard objects. These guys just
They just have no clue about
They just didn't
cleaning.
pick up trash. Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible.
Hoarders usually have like a
imagine.
shopping addiction or a newspaper addiction or something.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing that we don't really understand.
Trash and more trash. Mm-hmm. When the sheriff went there, he said there wasn't a square foot that didn't have stuff that you stepped on.
Mm-hmm. Floor, carpeting, kitchen floor, you just couldn't walk anywhere.
You couldn't take a step without stepping on trash.
Under court order, Lisa removed the kids and placed them with the maternal grandparents.
The parents that had CPS called on them when their kids were little. Great place to put them, guys.
Yeah, this was
nice
at least until their home became livable again.
Hoarding, according to Dr. Sankakar, MD of the Mayo Clinic, he says that hoarding can affect your daily functions. They experience distress at the thought of getting rid of items, and they often do not see their hoarding as a problem.
I still don't see these people as hoarders.
I really don't either.
No, but that's an interesting fact. One psychologist now, I do believe she was an armchair psychologist.
Yeah, she basically saw the photo. She was
analyzing
it from outside.
You're a butt.
With photos. Oh, a butt analyzing. But she kind of analyzed. Oh, I fucking did it again. God damn it. She claimed that
what would Freud say?
Josephine, due to her upbringing, felt like trash, saw herself as trash, had trashy feelings, all the things, because her mom treated her like trash. They weren't that good to their kids, so.
And she also said that people who love their kids would never allow them to live in such filth. I agree to a certain point, but I understand the weird mental...
You can still love your children wholeheartedly and live in a shithole.
Yeah.
Is
it okay?
No.
Maybe not really, but...
Somehow it was justified in her mind. It doesn't mean she doesn't love her kids. It just means she had other things that were getting in the way of being the best parent she could be.
And depression is a really weird thing, You can try as hard as you effing can.
Hard. You're just sinking. What's that stuff called? Sinking sand.
Muck. It's basically quicksand.
Quicksand.
Yeah.
That's how it feels when you have depression, and then you have children that you have to take care of, and you're trying to take care of your house, and then also she had her little sister that she was basically raising. I mean, yeah, she's in high school, but when are kids kind of the worst? Junior high and high school. So she had a lot going on her plate. It's not that she didn't love her kids. She just had other things going on.
Downhill. So instead of her getting her act together, the men in the family, her father and brother, would go with big trash bags, clean up all the shit in their house before the CPS would show up and help
so that they could get her kids back.
Mm-hmm.
Such huge hearts. But the thing is, she would just let it go straight back.
These guys did that 3 or 4 times, and then finally they stopped.
They were like,
well, we tried to help.
Of giving all this effort, and you guys aren't giving any effort. So they stopped, and that sent the girls into another depression.
Eventually, the plumbing in the house broke.
Man.
They were going pee-pee in buckets.
I've done that woods before.
Well, on purpose, because out of choice.
But
you don't want to.
After I did it once, I felt like just peeing by a tree was better. But yes, their plumbing in the home broke, and it's just bad. No running water. They're going to the bathroom in buckets. Literally deplorable living conditions.
Yeah. Lisa was working so hard trying to get this family straightened out.
For over a year.
Finally, she said, fuck you guys.
We're removing the children from the home, and we're placing them in foster care.
Yep.
Approximately 5:30 a.m. on May 21st, 1998, the family and fiancé, Stephen, personally filed a missing persons report at the sheriff's office for Lisa.
Lisa had not come home all night. When Stephen called her parents, they went to him immediately, and the three looked throughout the night for her.
All into the wee hours, and then finally they went to the sheriff's office personally and filed the report of her missing. The investigation into the missing woman began immediately the next day.
When investigators looked through Lisa's appointment book, it was quickly established that the closest appointment to her disappearance was at 2 o'clock on May 20th.
They searched the route of the appointment and found Lisa's car at 26 Mile and Van Dyke Avenue.
Oh, you know right where that is.
I totally do.
Yeah.
I've driven by it 500.
That gas
I
station
work
right there,
that
yeah.
corner. The doors were locked. Her purse and belongings were strewn across the seat. The keys were in the ignition.
Definitely some foul play going on here.
For Rizzo. Investigators literally contacted every case that had been assigned to her.
And they interviewed Joe at the school where she volunteered with her kids.
Yeah, Josephine told them that Lisa did come to their house, and she gave them a list of things that they needed to do to get her children back, and then she left. Then they went and found Jacqueline, asked her the same questions, and to no surprise, the story was similar. Lisa, the CPS worker, had come to the home, given them a list of things in the house they needed to do by the next visit, blah, blah, blah.
With the car a half mile down the road, the last appointment being at the girl's house, the police, as you say, the 5-0? 5-0
Shorthand.
had all the reason to get a warrant and to search their home and surrounding area. So they went to the home at about 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, nobody's home. They didn't have to be home because they had a warrant.
Yeah,
and
didn't
why
matter.
weren't they home at 1:30 in the morning?
Sheriff said they had every single possible surface that was covered with trash. Also, oddly, here we go again, ketchup.
Was everywhere. And one of the guys said, honestly, he was like, you couldn't tell if some of it was blood or not. I find that weird, but
Well, it's kind of just
if
a
you guys
vulgar
see the pictures,
home.
you would
There was
understand.
7 cats and a dog, and they were just shit.
Feces,
Yeah, they were
poop,
everywhere.
caca,
Everywhere.
caca.
The investigators said they
Bag over
literally didn't even know how or where to look for evidence. It's like you said.
It was so bad.
Just
It
stuff
was just
all
food,
over the place.
feces,
You couldn't tell what was
trash.
what. There was a 2-story barn.
In the attic or the loft of that little barn-like shed, an evidence tech found a trash bag containing bloody clothes, clear pack tape, and a little bit of hair.
Their first call was to John and Simone Verellen.
That's the sister's parents. They told them what they had found, and it appears that Josephine was with them because he turned Josephine into the cop shop.
Jacqueline was arrested at the hotel where she worked.
Jacqueline told the investigators everything right away. She stated that the two of them had jokingly said they could always get rid of her, but she didn't think that her sister was serious. It was like a we can get...
Right. You know, that's where you got to be cautious about who you're talking to and how they respond.
Well, Jacqueline let Lisa, the CPS person, into the home for the visit, and she told her that Josephine wasn't home, probably because the house was still a mess and the fact that Josephine wasn't there when she was supposed to be. Some things stated there was a conflict between the two of them.
Yeah, apparently things got a little bit heated. This is when Josephine took a hammer to the back of the caseworker's head.
She hit her once, apparently.
Well, that's what she admitted to.
Yes.
We're going to find out differently.
Jacqueline cried, kind of fake cried, to the investigators that stuff was all over her and that Josephine told her to hold Lisa. Because even though she had whacked her in the head, she was still alive.
The two continued to restrain Lisa by taping her hand and placing bags over her head.
It's a total mess. Jacqueline said in the interview with the police that she said, I had to help her. She's my sister. I had to help her. The two women put Lisa in the bathtub, and then they just left the house.
They casually picked up her children from school. Like, nothing's wrong,
No,
nothing's
yeah,
cool.
we're just going to go pick up my kids.
Took them to Grandma and Grandpa's house and then returned to their home where the body was.
Jacqueline had said she wasn't sure if Lisa was still alive when they had put her in the tub, but thought she was.
Yeah, they dropped the kids off and head back home.
But guess what? Jacqueline needed a new tongue ring, so they stopped by and got a new tongue ring.
Of course she needed
When
one.
the investigators asked, well, who had the tongue piercing, she stuck out her tongue and went,
She was so proud of herself.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I had to
So
be a dick for a minute because
proud of
that's what I
herself.
do. Apparently, they cleaned something in the house. They at least got rid of the bloody clothes and such that they found in the shed, but the rest of the house was obviously not clean.
How do you clean only, maybe squirt some ketchup around? Maybe,
Oh,
that
apparently,
would do the trick.
yeah. They put the body into 2 garbage bags, loaded it into a truck, took it to a 2-track that are all far too abundant in Michigan, even just outside of Detroit. Dumped her body there.
We're going to find one.
For sure.
I hope
it's
not.
bound to happen.
I hope not, because that'll ruin our entire weekend.
You're an asshole. During Josephine's interrogation, investigators immediately told her what her little sister Jacqueline had said. They still had questions. They asked Josephine, how many times did you hit her with a hammer?
Oh, yeah, like once.
She didn't even seem bothered. She wasn't crying, nothing. You know what, Boo? 22 times.
20, they could determine.
The medical
forensic evidence
examiner determined 22 blows were brought upon Lisa.
But that didn't kill her.
No.
Which is weird.
Remember,
What
the
was
girls put a
the
bag over their
bag?
head, so she died from asphyxiation.
Yep.
Despite all of the help, personal time, her own money that Lisa gave to this case and to these women, young ladies, I should say, Jacqueline still believed that she wasn't there to help her, but to take her kids away and that she was a threat.
People are freaking Looney Tunes.
Yeah, in a weird way I see it, but
yeah,
no.
I totally understand.
I can't go over the murder line.
No, right.
Jacqueline gave a description of where the body was located, but Josephine actually took the investigators to the place where the body was. Wrapped in trash bags, her jeans showing, there off a 2-track in some woods lie the body of Lisa.
Oh, even a dead deer on the way to work like this morning.
Oh, don't say it.
Bad
Don't.
enough.
Don't say you ran over its legs. Lisa's parents were called immediately. Lisa's mom was indignant. Is that the right word? On seeing her baby girl one last time, despite the condition of her daughter's body. That mom, oh my God, did I cry. Cried like a baby.
Can't imagine.
When I watched this mom, because I can't.
Just
I can't even
unbelievable mess.
comprehend losing a child, any of my babies. No.
October 8th, 1998, Josephine, with arms crossed, walked indignantly into the courtroom.
The sisters stood next to each other as their future was determined. I found that kind of weird that their sentencing was at the same time. It doesn't seem like that's very common.
I don't know. Maybe it made sense to everybody at the time.
I guess.
Doesn't really matter.
Josephine, hiding her face with her long hair or her man hands.
She has
almost
man
all
hands.
times. Jacqueline, Boot said that. I didn't say it.
She totally
so
has man
come
hands.
after him if you're going to come after anybody.
Oh,
Jacqueline,
you're so pretty.
I have fucking man hands. If I don't have fake fingernails on, I have man hands too. So Okay.
Yeah, I have man hands.
Well, you're a
Check this
man,
out.
Dick. Jacqueline, with an inverted bob hairstyle, couldn't hide behind her hair.
Mm-hmm. Josephine was sentenced to 50 to 75 years.
Jacqueline was sentenced to 25 to 50 years. The sisters hugged each other tightly, as having each other was all they ever really had.
Jacqueline was actually she had just been released as of April
2020. April 22, 2020. Oh, that's 420. I was waiting.
The 422.
How long you'd figure that out?
That's 422 of 2020.
Right. But it's 420.
Yep.
It's April 20th.
22nd.
I mean, it's April of the year 20.
Yeah,
see,
that's
420.
A bit of a stretch.
Anytime you can find a 420, you just do it. And you smoke your platinum vapes. Honestly, she was young when this all happened. She was 22, if I'm not mistaken. So she's now out of jail, and I hope she's living a full and beautiful life.
Josephine still resides at the Huron Valley Complex. Her earliest release date is April 22nd of 2038.
Isn't that crazy sounding?
That's not that far off.
It still sounds so weird. And her maximum release date being August 18th of 2059.
I used to read science fiction novels where things were taking place in those
years.
Yes, and it's not that far away. Back in the 80s,
I'm not sure where the children ended up. I didn't look because I hope they're having a long, happy life. I have no idea where Jacqueline is now. She's been out of jail for almost a full year. Hope things are going great for her, honestly.
So do you have
remember the first silver lining was the foster children got to go back to their real dad.
Yes,
that was super cool.
Yeah.
Another little baby silver lining. Public Act 22 was created in part due to this case, with Lisa's law giving more protection to today's social workers. I want to say something, though.
Yeah.
She never felt threatened by these guys. So as much as I love this law, and if they feel threatened, she never once had that.
Right.
She never put it in her report. I think it's fantastic. Yes,
it's a good thing.
If you're scared that you're going into a home where abuse is happening or that there's domestic shit happening, you want a backup counselor to go with you.
If you're in a bad situation, you don't necessarily know.
Well, also, you know what I'm saying? All these people are going to these houses alone.
Yeah.
She never verbalized that she felt threatened by these two young ladies. She obviously didn't if she was spending her own money and time helping them. Mm-hmm. So, Lisa's law is fantastic. It's giving a lot more protection to today's social workers. I don't know in this case if it would have actually helped, but it's still a fantastic thing.
Thank you, Lisa.
Oh, Lisa, may you rest in peace. And we said it earlier how hard it would be to lose a child. Lisa's mom sadly said, it's like Lisa Daddy said, they just turned off the lights and we're in the dark. That was a rough one.
Do we have a happy ending?
Do we have a good note?
Oh, God, I hope so.
I think we do. Lucky Strikes are back. What the French toast?
I have to smoke one right.
Oh, my God, you're going to die of cancer. I got to cover my face because I don't like the smell of smoke.
Well, maybe you ought to cover your butthole because I don't like the smell of ass.
Well, then maybe you should go smell our bedroom, ass.
Hole.
We're leaving you off with a happy ending and a fantastic band, Slumlord Radio.
Yeah.
Slumlord Radio.
Love these guys.
Here we go.
When the lights go low and the stage becomes a whole mess of noises, I just try to remember Like your mama always told me, pimping ain't easy, especially with one arm.
People rock around my house in 79. Alligator in the reservoir. Too damn cold, but Rocky says it's just fine. If you started a company, I'd be the first to join. If you started a cult, I'd be the first to join. Can't be stuck in idle. Gotta smash the gates. Through the corner into the river. Yeah. That's how the cross began. Things seem worse than ever. That's okay, they're as bad as they've always been. If you started a company, I'd be the first to join. If you started a cult, I'd be the first to join. You can't be stuck in idle. Gotta smash the gates. Going down to the four-way fun dome. Yeah. To give myself a full whip. Up and rock and fuel on this Godzilla trip. If you started a company, I'd be the first to join. If you started a cult, I'd be the first to join. You can't be stuck in idle. Gotta smash the gates.
God damn you, Slumlord Radio. You dirty boys got me once again.
Thank you for choosing Michigan Murders and Music. Please rate the show wherever you listen. Michigan Murders and Music is produced by The Boots. Episodes are researched and written by Your Highness. Edited by Your Highness. Views and opinions are the sole stupidity of us and us alone. Don't blame others, please. Listening to this podcast could quite possibly cause major problems to your earballs and definitely will mess up your kids. Permission has been given to us by the bands, and we purchase our music on Bandcamp.com. Support your local music scene and all local music scenes.